Yes, guys, so we are 1 week away from the release of College Football 25, and I can't remember the last time I was this excited for a sports game. We have waited 10 years for this moment, and it's almost here. So we've got a lot of information about the game the last week or so, but today was a big day. We got all of the info on Road to Glory. Check out this blog post they put up. There's no trailer or anything like that, but there's a ton of info in here. I have read through the entire thing, and we're going to go through the highlights. The devs had 4 pillars when it comes to the vision of this game: living the life of a college athlete, the week-to-week experience, fast to fun and highly replayable, and foundation for the future. First one is basically your on-field versus off-field. Obviously, college is an experience. It's not all about the gameplay. Obviously, that's the focus. That's where most of the result of your performance is going to come from. But there are going to be off-field things that happen in your week-to-week experience. So you're going to have dilemmas that pop up. Do you want to go to a college party or do you want to stay in and study? You're going to have things that you have to focus on, and everything ultimately kind of dribbles back down to the gameplay and has some sort of a cause and effect. Highly replayable is going to be interesting. Obviously, career modes in games typically aren't that replayable, but it does seem like you're going to have some branching storylines and pathways that you can explore if you want to play it more than once. And then foundation for the future, honestly, I don't know what this means. It's about building a lasting legacy. This year lays the groundwork for the future and enhancements, ensuring that your journey as a college athlete continues to evolve and improve. Obviously, you're going to play for 4 years, maybe 5 years if you can choose to redshirt, and then you're going to export your player to Madden. So I'm not sure what that means there, but we'll find out. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to play any prequel games. Think about, like, playing in high school, and your performance there determines what kind of a prospect you're going to be. That's not in the game, but you do have the choice of what you want to be. So you could be a 5-star elite prospect, a 4-star blue chip, 3-star contributor, or a 2-star underdog. And each one of these is going to determine your starting spot. So like elite, you're going to have 1 mental ability, 5 skill points, and 79 overall. Blue chip is going to have less in terms of abilities and skill points. It's going to start at a 75. Contributor is going to be at 67. Underdog is going to be at a 60 overall. That's going to be a long way. So you could choose, do you want to come in, immediately impact player, immediately start, instantly freshman phenom, just absolutely dominate? Or do you want to come in as the underdog and grind it out for 1, 2, maybe even 3 years and not really see playing time for a while? I'm personally going to be going for underdog. I think that sounds like a lot of fun, but you get the choice. Here are the positions you can choose from: quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, middle linebacker, and cornerback. Of course, you're going to have complete control over name, number, body style, look, equipment, that kind of thing. But you're also going to be able to pick your archetype and your physical ability, so you're going to be able to choose what kind of a player you want to be. Do you want to be like a big, bruising, strong halfback? Do you want to be a scrambling quarterback? You can kind of tailor your play style. And you also choose 3 mental abilities. So I really love that, in this, in Dynasty, and anything else, players are all unique because of these mental abilities. It's not just about your overall or your speed or whatever else. You're going to have some intangibles there. So, for example, Caius King looks like they went with a 79 overall. Dude's going to be a dog. Fan favorite, so he's got increased composure at home. Road dog, so he's got increased composure on the road. And clear-headed, so he's got protection from composure loss. Nobody's ever been more dialed as a freshman. And here we can kind of see the final product before you hop into Road to Glory. So this is Caius King. He's a field general QB, 6'3", 225 from Orlando, Florida. You can see his stats. You can see his mentals and physicals. This is kind of your starting point. It's pretty cool because you're actually going to be recruited by schools. Your career starts with an interview with a local TV reporter. You're going to be asked a host of questions, and depending on what you answer here, it's going to assign you your 3 ideal motivations for your ideal pitch. Now, if you guys don't know how this works, we covered it in the recruiting video. It's been in some of the trailers and stuff, but basically every single player in terms of recruiting has 14 motivations. So think like the academics of the school, the coach prestige, the chance of going pro, the chance of getting playing time, how far it is from home, things like that. There are 14 different things that players can care about, and each player has 3 that they care about the most. So based on these questions, you're going to be assigned those 3, and then schools that are good at those 3 are going to start approaching you. So if you really care about being close to home, closer schools are going to approach you. If you really care about the potential for NIL deals, schools with a lot of brand are going to approach you. After the interview, you're going to go to your signing day. So you could see here, I mean, if you're a 79 overall QB as a freshman, of course, you're going to have some crazy offers from South Carolina, Auburn, Michigan, etc. And you choose who you want to go to. I can see why he's a 79 overall with a mustache like that. Here we've got our week-to-week screen. Basically, every week is broken down into two things. There's practice as well as your weekly agenda, aka your off-field experience. So practice is pretty simple. You're going to do drills. Some are team-based drills. Some are individual drills like pressing buttons and dodging things while staying in the pocket and whatever else. You're going to try to earn these medals, and those medals are going to earn you coach trust, which in turn secures your starting spot or helps you in the battle to become a starter, etc. The other part of your weeks, besides playing the games, of course, are based on your weekly agenda, and that's split up into 5 different things. You've got academics, leadership, health, training, and brand. Every single one of these is important. I'm a little bit concerned as to how I'm going to manage all of these. So academics, obviously, that's your testing. You've got to have a good enough GPA to stay eligible. It also unlocks mental abilities for you. If you're a high enough GPA, 3.0 plus GPA gets a special ability. 4.0 GPA, I'm sure, gets something special. So the further up you get in this, the better off you're going to be kind of dialed in on the field mentally. And yes, if your GPA drops above 2.0, you will become ineligible and you are forced to go to study hall. So you better make sure you're hitting the books. Here we can see some of the bonuses. So you can get mental abilities. You're also going to increase your weekly coach trust bonus. If you've got a good GPA, it's going to improve it. You're going to have a positive bonus, whereas a lower GPA will have a negative bonus. So think about if you're vying for a starting spot, coach is going to want to see you doing well in the classroom, and that can help you out to get it, maybe even more so than the physical stuff. Now, here's the thing. You can allocate your time, which I think you get 5 points per week on a normal week, 4 points per week if you've got a Thursday game, or 6 points per week if you've got a bye week to apply towards these 5 items. You can apply points to your academics, which is going to help with your test readiness. You've got clueless, unprepared, basic, and prepared. That's going to help you out with your midterms, which are week 7 and week 15. There are also quizzes, periodic pop-up quizzes that come through various scenarios. Unlike exams, they do not utilize that test readiness. Instead, you're going to be asked in the moment how much you want to study for each quiz, and it'll consume that set amount of energy each week. There are additional checkpoints to ensure you're keeping up with your academic responsibilities. So some weeks, maybe you were really trying to hit a hard workout. Maybe you had a really cool NIL opportunity and you were going to get a bunch of followers or whatever else, but you may have to sit down and do your quiz. And if you've been practicing for your midterms, you could fail a quiz, no big deal. But if you haven't been, you could potentially drop below, become ineligible, who knows? So it's, academics actually is important. The second part of this is leadership. Obviously, this is very important. Think about like a field general QB. You want to have some high leadership. And there's a lot of intangibles here. So obviously for coach trust, again, you're going to get a bonus if you're a good leader. Coaches love that. You're also going to get extra team XP. So if you're a good leader, all of your teammates are going to be doing better. So think about if you come in as a freshman, you focus on leadership, you're hyping your team up, you're getting them ready for games, whatever else. By the time all of you guys are seniors, they're going to be way better than they would have been if you weren't focusing on leadership. So this is a little bit more of a long-term play. You can also increase your team composure. You can get extra abilities if you're an excellent leader. So like think about big games. If you're a good leader, you're going to be able to settle your guys down. They're not going to be freaking out on the first play. They're going to stay composed. You're going to be able to make those plays that you've been making. But if you're not a good leader, you may not be able to do that because everyone's going to be freaking out. Both of these already seem really important. And next up, we've got health. So health and Road to Glory is even more important than it is in Dynasty mode. We know about the new wear and tear feature where depending on what happens on field, you physically harm those parts of your body. So like here, he's got a hurt left leg and right arm. So he probably took a shot to the right arm. Imagine your QB takes a big hit to his throwing arm. You're not going to be able to throw as accurately. Now, in Dynasty mode, your players will slowly heal over time. It happens play by play, it happens quarter by quarter, it happens game by game, and then obviously off season, everybody heals. In Road to Glory, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen automatically. You are going to have to physically choose to take time throughout your week to heal. Otherwise, it's not going to get better. So you can probably go for a while skipping this, but eventually you're going to get yourself in a bad spot where you're really hurt. You've got major negatives to your stats, and you're going to have to physically choose, hey, I'm not hitting the gym, I'm not hitting the books, I'm not going out and doing an NIL deal. I physically have to take time off to rest, otherwise I'm not going to be able to perform. Training is pretty self-explanatory. This is work off of the field. So when you're on the field, every single play you're earning XP. When you complete passes, when you have big first downs, when you complete challenges, whatever else, that levels up your player. Every time you level up this bar, you get a skill point to be able to spend in your player. With training, you can also choose to work off field. So you're going to outwork your opponents. You're going to progress faster. It's going to apply more to this bar. You're going to be able to get more skill points. However, with training comes extra wear and tear. So for every bit of training that you do, you're also going to have to offset that with rest so that you aren't hurt for the big games. So academics, leadership, health, and training all play a big role here. These are the ones we want to focus on. Who actually cares about your brand and being an influencer, right? Wrong. You can actually get a bunch of bonuses from this as well. So a lot of the social things you do get you followers, like going to parties, going to booster events. I'm assuming big plays on the field and big wins and things like that are going to increase your brand, increase your followers. You've got local hero, influencer, superstar, and global phenom. You can get up to 1 million+ fans. So our boy here just became an influencer, and with that, he's earned an ability called Road Dog, increased composure gains on the road. Obviously, that's very good, and it looks like you're probably going to get something for superstar as well as global phenom. So there are direct links to your on-field play. You're going to get special abilities you otherwise wouldn't have had. You also unlock these NIL slots. Yes, you can sign NIL deals and do appearances and stuff in this game, which is crazy. So this is a pretty small one. Obviously, they're going to get better as you get bigger, but the local Chef's Sporting Goods wants you and some other players to come for a meet and greet over the span of a couple of days this and next week. Afterward, we'd like you to sign some autographs, should increase your local following, yada yada. So you can take or decline the deal. It's going to get you 500 followers per week for a 2-week contract that costs 1 energy per week. So 20% of your points for the next 2 weeks are gone. You're not going to be able to spend that studying or working out or whatever else, but you're going to get more followers, which in turn is going to get you better deals and more abilities down the line. So you got to kind of pick and choose what's worth it. You can get gameplay bonuses from these NIL deals, such as increased catching ability, increasing your speed or better stamina. You can also get off-field bonuses, like increasing your number of followers, boosting your coach trust, or improving your health. Last but not least, probably the most interesting thing to me is there's like a passive meter here where the more you do it and the more you stay committed to being on social and going to parties and doing whatever else, this meter will increase because you get more interaction from your fans, and the more interaction you have, the bigger chance you have of going viral, and going viral helps you gain followers really quickly. So it's something you've got to decide, especially early on. Are you trying to be a showman? Are you trying to be one for the people? Are you trying to get all these opportunities? Eventually you could get some huge 1 million+ NIL deals that actually have a significant impact on your game. One of my favorite things they showed, and I'm really excited for this, and it kind of adds to the branching storylines, is you're going to have dilemmas that pop up throughout the year. And these are going to be in the moment decisions that you have to make. There's no right or wrong answer, but there are definitely repercussions. So there's like, do you want to go to a party that's going to get you a bunch of followers, but you'll have to skip class, stuff like that. Here's an example right here. TJ Sanders, your defensive tackle, hits you up. You want to drive together to our morning government class this week? Gotta love these 8:30 a.m. lectures. You could choose, do you want to sleep in? There's a risk there. You're skipping class. You could get caught, you could not. Or do you want to agree and drive together? You choose to sleep in. This gets you extra rest, which is going to rest your back and ribs, and it's going to improve your wear and tear. That's fantastic. You're going to be more prepared for the game this Saturday. However, you got caught. So your academic advisor texts you, I got alerted you missed your 8:30 government class. Well, you not only missed class, you also missed a pop quiz. So boom, that's going to be a hit to your GPA. Hopefully you didn't fall below 2.0 because you're not going to be eligible. So it's kind of interesting to see how that works out. I'm excited to see those scenarios. The blog also dives into some of the position battles and stuff. So if you're not coming in as a phenom and you're going to be fighting for a starting spot, this is kind of what you're going to be looking at. You've always got to work on your coach trust. And again, we've learned you can get that from NIL deals. You can do that from testing well. You can do that from practice. You can do that from so many different avenues. So you're kind of battling against these guys to earn that coach trust and get that chance to be able to play. they're also working against you the entire time too. So it's not just filling this bar. Peyton here is going to continue moving forward with Coach Trust as long as he's playing well as you're chasing him. So it makes it kind of intense. We're back with Caius King, our created player from earlier here. So it looks like he won a battle. He earned QB1 here, and it was done by, it looks like 3 different challenges. So an option attack, scramble, survive, and pass skeleton, maybe like 3 different mini games. And you know, once you can get enough Coach Trust to trigger that, if you win those 3, you get the starting spot. The blog also dives a little bit into how you progress. So you're not earning skill points where you apply those to individual skills like your speed rating or your power rating or whatever else. They're all in groups, so you level up the group all at once. Like for a QB, the power group would be your throw power and your strength. When you apply a skill point to that, both of those attributes are going to go up. All the mentals and physicals and things like that it's just insane. Everything has, you know, bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum, I believe. This here is really interesting. So for play calling, especially early on when you don't have a ton of Coach Trust, you get 1 play. That's it. Coach calls the play, you run it, you don't have any choice there. You can't audible, you can do little hot routes, and you can choose if you want to hurry up offense or not, but that's the play you go with. And then at some point when you've got enough Coach Trust and he believes in you out there on the field, you do have the chance that you can ask for additional plays. So it looks like it only happens a certain number of times per game, but if you don't like the play he calls, you can tell him and he'll give you 3 options that you get to choose from. Finally, at the end of every season, you're going to have the choice. Do you want to stay loyal to your school, or would you like to submit yourself to the transfer portal? That's going to be kind of a similar process of the very start when you were being recruited. So again, you still have all of those motivations, the 3 ideal motivations, and the schools that are currently looking for players that like those motivations are going to be, you know, going after you. So you can see here somebody switched over and Thomas Swipe Right committed to Florida. And at the end of your college tenure, you're going to have the choice. Do you want to retire and just move on with your life, go get a nice job with your degree, or do you want to export your player to Madden? And that's kind of perfect because College Football 25 is coming out mid-July. Madden comes out mid-August. So by the time that we're done with this, so we've played for years in college, you're going to be able to instantly just transfer him over to the NFL and continue his story playing in the pros. So there you guys have it, a huge document brought down to bite size in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I just can't wait, man. We're going to have a Road to Glory series. We're going to have a franchise series. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will see you guys there in less than a week. Peace out.